Yeah, I got to the front, started taking my measurements, and realized I forgot to tell you something that's very important in checking the toe on the front wheels. You got to make sure your steering wheel is centered. Now, if you set the toe and the steering wheel is off to the side, it'll drive straight with the wheel off to the side. Now, I'm not going to tell you how to make any changes today. We're just checking our setup. So what we got to do is go in the car and make sure the wheel is perfectly centered. You want to take it back and forth, a little bit, jostle it around. Don't just take it to the center. Take it to the center, move it around, make sure it's right in the middle. That way you get an accurate toe reading on the front driver's side and front passenger side. Now if you've got your salt and your grease in between these tiles, you can tell that even though I've got the car off and no power steering, the wheels turn fairly easy. It allows me to center that steering wheel up. Okay, as you can tell, I've went around the car, made all my measurements. I use an O and an I for out and in. All the camber measurements, I put a C after it. Now to convert our camber measurements, which we measured in a distance earlier, to degrees, get your scientific calculator out, measure the straight edge that we used, or your rim diameter if you didn't use a straight edge, and use the formula that's shown on the video right now. You can either do it that way, or I've made it a little bit easier. I've made a table and put on Racetrack Database to where you can just go look it up. I'll probably even do a little spreadsheet to where you can change the dimension of your straight edge and get a right calculation. Well, there's a little bit of trig, but as long as we got this measurement as accurate as possible, this is going to give you a pretty precise measurement of your camber. Well, that's it for my how-to. Before you check your alignment, I highly suggest you take it to an alignment shop and have them check your alignment on their rack. They know what they're doing, and any shop worth a darn will provide you with a printout that shows you all your measurements. Again, this shop actually measures toe in degrees. You can convert your toe that we measured earlier to degrees the exact same way you converted the camber to degrees. So get this printout first, then you take your measurements, forget what this said, and then compare your measurements. If they match, good job, you know what you're doing. Now, after you get comfortable taking your own measurements, you may want to make changes to your alignment. They can definitely improve your lap times, whether it's on the autocross or the racetrack, road course, possibly even a drag strip. But before you change anything, make sure you know what you're doing. A lot of suspensions are set up differently. You got to adjust different things. Some of them you can't adjust camber, some of them you can. Toe adjustment may be different on different cars, especially in the rear. This car is, I believe, quite difficult to make any changes to the rear of the car. The front's quite easy on this car. I've got camber plates with the coilovers I got on the car, which makes adjusting the camber quite easy. Toe on this car is just tie rods in the front. But before you mess with anything, make sure you know what you're doing. Do some research. Ask a mechanic. Ask the mechanic who did your alignment or who checked your alignment for you. A lot of these shops will recheck an alignment for you for free within a certain amount of time, especially if you're nice to them. If they figure out what you're doing, they may not like it very much, but just keep that in mind. Hopefully you learned something from the video. I hope it makes you go faster. Again, I'm Robbie Nelson from Racetrack Database. See you at the track.